Hi, my lovely viewers. How are you doing? Welcome to Under the TV. Welcome wherever you are in the world at this time. We know that the time zone makes a difference. So here we are having afternoon, some are having evening, morning, night, whatever it is. Let us appreciate our different time zones as I go about now talking about a situation that happened a few days ago. And it's a disaster that occurred in Jamaica. Lovely, beautiful Jamaica. Now, I've come to the realization that you can be prepared as much as you can, but there are times it doesn't even make sense to prepare, but you have to still prepare because preparation is key. When you're going to have a hurricane, you're warned, so you take precaution. But whenever earthquake is coming, it's no warning. You have to just learn what to do when it do comes. However, what I really want to touch on today, given my little bit, is talking about this flooding that occurred a few days ago. Some of it happened in Kingston, and some of it happened in other parishes, especially Mobay. Now, when I look and see that body, that large volume of water on the roadway, in the gullies. People had to be locked in their buildings. Some were flooded out terribly. Guys, I said to myself, this is no ordinary flooding. This seems to be like a storm, a tropical storm, because I'm told that there were so many thundering and lightnings. And when I look at the road, this was like a river. As big as I am, I'll be scared to go even into it or try to go across it. It was raging so hard. It was just trying to, the current that it has in going, it was just going. And it's as if it knows where it's going. It was like it's going slowly and, it just rolling down. And you see barrels and all sort of debris in it. And I'm happy that there were no lives lost. And we know that school is in session now. Children could have been going home and saw this water and tried to play in it, as well as they could be washed away, you know. So I'm happy for that. But on the other hand, how could this body of water go onto the road? How could it have happened? I'm concerned. So that's why I'm sharing the point, guys. Can somebody tell me, please? How could this have happened? Well, in my own estimation, I think the drains, I think so, those drains are outdated. They can't take that volume of water anymore. Those drains, I think they're outdated. Or is it that they are blocked? At some point in its pathway, they are blocked. So there is no way it could go through. Why so much water on the road? It's like a river was made there. And when I look on the another community, I see that water raging through the place as if it's trying to recapture. We know that the earth was majority water. This is trying to, I said to myself, this looks like it's going to capture back all the land that it had before when it was just water and land. And it's going to just capture and take over. Oh my guys, I felt it. I was not anywhere near too close to it that I would touch it because just looking at it makes me so scared. And when I look and see businesses, some of them the water was just inching. Some the water had already gone through. Some homes the water flush gone it because the people were not even prepared. They couldn't even barricade it because they had nothing to barricade those waters. All sort of debris coming down based on one person's observation. In her home, the gully empties in her home. We know what she means. Everything, nothing could have been saved. Nothing. So what about retaining walls to guide the water along the pathway in the gully? We're looking at those places. It's like it's no more. It's just the soil that is there. So in a while, some of those homes that I was looking at, they're going to collapse into the gully. And the gully is going to constantly deteriorate in its sides, eating away the sides of the bank and the floor as well. So the floor has to be filled properly, built properly, and the sides, the bankings. Because if the bankings are not done, it's just going to take over the whole place. In a while, there will be no Kingston or anywhere because it's just going to when it just lie down like a sea, a receiving thing. It's a good thing the sea is calm enough to receive all that amount of water. Wherever the water goes, we know it always empties out someplace. But when I look at it, guys, what are we doing? What are the authorities doing? They say they are cleaning the drains. If those drains were really cleaned, how is it that they didn't take the water? Could it be that the drains are too small and they didn't plan to do any extension of those drains as yet? Those drains to me are outdated because the drains are supposed to take the water. The water is not supposed to go into the road when there are drains. Or is it that things are in the pathway where the water should go into the drains? Or connecting drains to the main drain cannot take the water because the size or it doesn't have something to take it through, or it is blocked. Some things are there that maybe on the way under needs to be cleaned. So it backs up and come back up on the road because that's how I have to be thinking. Because if the water really go into the drain and goes out to where it's supposed to let out into the sea, there shouldn't be any problems. But if deep under there it is not clear, the water is going to just go there and come up back. We have to, authorities always, I think, ensure how buildings are constructed and the proper guidelines that people should follow in putting up their buildings, doing their construction. But do they take the drains into consideration when you have buildings nearby? What do they do with these drains? How do they build waterways that leads into the drains? Because maybe the bigger drains are being paid attention to, but the smaller ones that should take the water to those big drains need some attention. I think those drains are outdated. I think that new drains to be built. Population has grown. I don't remember the date of those drains when they were built, but there must have been a good amount of years. I don't even want to guess because I may get into trouble. But guys, listen, this is our country. What if people were going to the airport? Or what if person were coming from the airport? Or they were going to the hospital? Or they are so sick they need to get home to get their medication, or they want to go to the pharmacy to get whatever is to be done. What if a fire service wanted to go and put out a fire? What is an ambulance that needs to go quickly to the necessary facility for the patient's life to be saved? Come on, these are things we have to take into consideration. We can't just exist just for some things and the things that helps to lift up the place. We are not paying attention. It was such an embarrassment to see all that body of water. It's as if there was no drain. As if there was no drain anywhere around to receive it. So it says, let me take the road. So every time we get some rain, if this rain was not even for a good 2 hours, and it came down so torrential that it caused this type of situation, chaos. It was chaos. People were frightened and they panicked. And some couldn't do anything because the water just have the vehicles them going. Because some of them, those vehicles were parked. Some were on the road driving, and the water just have them going. So I think some some attention has to be paid to those drains. Some attention has to be paid. Maybe some sections of the drains are not clear. And as rainfall and time goes by, things sometimes block up down in those places that you wouldn't even realize. Because why couldn't the water have gone through the drains? That's my bone of contention. Why couldn't the water have taken the drain itself and go? Why it comes on the road? So it has to be something authorities are not paying attention to or refuse to pay attention to, and then it affects the people. So, guys, those people who know that what they're to do what you're to do, because damaging people's vehicle like that and not have some of them not getting enough pay to cover all those expenses, which were not planned for. These expenses were not planned for, and we know that mechanical work is expensive. So let me say that to those who suffered losses, I can only pray that the Lord will help you soon and get some things resolved so that you can start over. But even then, the place has to be attended to, because it means that whenever it rains, it's going to be the same thing repeatedly, and then we may hear about loss of lives. And people need to have their property in order. You leave home to go to work. Now you hear that the things wash away and your house is a mud and chaos and all of those things. Maybe you have medications and all of those things put aside and documents. And then all of this happened. You are not there to save it. Because maybe if you were there, you'd have lost your life. So I think focus should be put on these drains. These drains. I think something is wrong with these drains. I'm not an engineer. I don't know what it is, but I believe something is wrong about those drains, because we keep hearing that drains will be cleaned to meet the hurricane season. Drains should always be cleaned, not just to meet the hurricane season, not just to meet it. It should always be maintained. So when the hurricane season comes around, you just do some little more cleaning to it, additional. But I don't know. It's been a long time. I heard that they did the preparation, but why now? And it's not an hurricane. Some say it was a flash flooding. So if it was flash flooding, then what would be the hurricane and the tropical storm be, and a depression? What would we have seen? So, guys, as you ponder on my little thoughts, because we are in society, we have to share and have a concern. I feel for those persons who lost their belongings and whose things were all messed up and whose property is deteriorating because of this situation. Persons who could not go home because they were marooned to stay at one place until things are set, right? So, guys, let us share the consideration, and so that we can help each other to be a little happier. It is not a nice situation to find yourself in that situation. It's not nice. But what can we do? Authorities have to step in, and we pray. And as the song says, we pray and God delivers. Ponder on that for me, please. And as you like the video and share it, subscribe, talk about it with your friends, and share, share, share. Auntie D is that. She likes to tell people about things that are happening. That is what my channel is about. I like to share. And I like also to be informed. Because if you're not informed, you won't be able to keep a conversation, right? So you're going to share with me what I share with you. And when I go live, you'll be there. You remember to turn on that ping and get all notifications. And when I put out a video, you'll be the first ones to know. So have a wonderful day now. Enjoy it all, and see you when I put out my next video or when I go live. Bye from Auntie D. See you soon.